Hi, everybody.
Hello there.
Jerry.
And Linda.
Well, we came through the storm last night and actually did far better than we were expecting. We had very, very minor stuff around our house. Some of you saw the post earlier on Facebook. But some friends have asked us to drive by their homes and give them a look. They're out of town, and we're going to do that. We thought we'd show you the trip down. We're heading down to St. Catherine and Bradford, and we'll show you the sights on the way down, give you an idea what everything looks like. We're going to start with some pictures that were sent in. These are from Dana. Dana's down in the Finney area. She says that she's our Finney area reporter. Finney known for those great big live oak trees, so beautiful. But they sure left a lot of debris after these winds. When we moved here, Finney was the southernmost village. Now there's the Finney Grill. Hardly recognizable with all the debris, but it's all small stuff, so no big deal. And we also had some photos sent to us, and these were sent by Margaret. It's of the Lake Sumter area, and you can see that the water is way up, and it's way up everywhere. Look at that. Just to look at some of the areas that were affected, and we'll start our drive. We're on Ivawood right now. That's in the village of Dunedin. So many of our drives and rides take place down here because that's where we live. It's overcast today, 71 degrees as we start this ride. And this is taking place on Thursday morning about 9 a.m. You can see the roads are still a little bit wet. Coming up on the left, you'll see a home. You can see the blue exposed. Those are shingles that are gone. We found shingles in our yard, but they look to be from someone else's home, maybe even this one. When things calm down, they'll have to get a crew in there to secure that, so if we get rain, there won't be any further damage. Although there is a secondary rain barrier, and hopefully that'll work for them. We're turning onto Oracle Drive. Straight ahead of us, past the stop sign, is the Pensacola Golf Course. That's part of the Bonifay layout. And right here on the right is Vinny's house. Vinny does all the holiday decorations, but we've heard that he's gone for the season and may not be putting out decorations this year. Straight ahead, that's the Pensacola Golf Course. That is between hole number 4 and 5, and that water is way up. Not much traffic out today. We did see some walkers. Again, it's very overcast. You know, this was the kind of day that I like to take pictures without that harsh sunlight and casting all those shadows. So that's Hillsborough Trail that we're looking at right there. We're going to turn onto Hillsborough Trail and we're going to head east toward Morse Boulevard. Kind of give you a look at that water on the Pensacola Championship Golf Course. In our neighborhood, we did notice a couple of the homes like the one you saw that had some shingles missing. People are pulling over here in their golf carts to take pictures of this water because it is quite high. It is a true island green right now, ordinarily not. We're coming up to the intersection. It's a T where Charlotte Court would go to the left toward Pinellas, and we're going to go straight here. On the right is another pond, and it's way up, just like all of them. You know, we noticed last night that people were, not people, but the villages was watering, and they had all the sprinklers on, and they were trying to get the water out of the ponds so it would accept some of that 9.7 inches of rain that we got here. And by the way, depending on the various outlet, you'll get a different reading on that rain, but we got 9.7 according to WESH. Heading down Hillsborough Trail, on the right is Enterprise Drive, one of our favorite neighborhoods. We're going to come up to the gate, and you'll see that the gate arms are taken off. That happens every hurricane, every tropical storm. They take those off to make evacuation easier, for one thing. Plus, I think the wind could damage those arms, perhaps. Multimodal trail bears off here. That's where you'd have to go if you were in a golf cart. But we'll go right through the open gates, and now we're out to a roundabout on Morse Boulevard. If we went halfway around that roundabout, we would be on Moyer Loop. And there we go, we're heading down Morse Boulevard. You can look and see a lot of the debris is coming from these palm trees called Washingtonias. Those are the two we had on each corner of our house. We took them down about 8 months ago. There's the police. It's the sheriff. Those Washingtonias have a skirt, and that skirt comes off in high winds. Pieces of it do, and causes a little bit of a debris problem, and that'll keep the yard crews busy, as well as the village's maintenance people that have to clean it up, because it is quite a mess today. You'll see more as we drive along. On the left, you can't really see it from here, but that is one of the Belglade golf courses. And there are several trees coming up here. There's one right there leaning. Do you see it? Here's a tree completely down out into Morse Boulevard. Here's another tree completely down. And there were quite a few of those. If you look over toward the golf course, you could have seen them. I believe those were live oak trees. Roots and everything came up. There's another. Hopefully they can just push those back up and save them. They didn't break off, they just pushed over. There's another. Quite a few of them. We're driving through the village of Osceola Hills right now, or past the village. On the next roundabout would be Burnside Recreation Center, if you're familiar with that. Looks like a log cabin. It's one of our favorites. And as there is at the entrance to every neighborhood, Osceola Hills on the left, Osceola Hills Soaring Eagle on the right, there's a roundabout. That roundabout is a great way to control traffic, I think. Well, we're going to continue down Morse Boulevard. Remember, we're going all the way to St. Catherine today. We're going to stop at Bradford as well. You can see all this debris. It's just not typical here. You rarely see anything. It's always so meticulously cleaned, kept up. Some people say the Villages is like a Disney park, and I agree. Coming up will be another roundabout. That's the second entrance to Osceola Hills on the left over there. Remember the rule on roundabouts, you don't enter a roundabout if anybody else is already in it. Off to the right, you can't see it, is Lake Deaton. That is a big body of water sort of behind our house. The actual Lake Deaton neighborhood is farther, way farther down Hillsborough Trail on the other side of the lake. As we come to the next roundabout, on the right will be the air rifle range and beautiful softball complex, as all of the complexes are in the Villages, just first rate in every way. This is the Soaring Eagle complex. And as we pass this roundabout, we'll be approaching County Road 44. That's the road that would take you all the way through Leesburg to Tavares. And if you go the other way, north, it would take you through Wildwood and on up to Crystal River. The Rohan Recreation Center will be on the right up here, and this very, very busy intersection of County Road 44 and Morse Boulevard. You can sit at this intersection for quite a while if you don't time it just right. You know, I always tell Linda, when you're in a situation like this where I am the first car in line and I'm going to go straight across, to never go when the light changes. Make sure you look both ways, because we often see big trucks and cars trying to beat that light, and it's a perfect recipe for a T-bone crash. So right now, just kind of look both ways before you cross. And just like that, we are south of 44. A new Walmart's coming in right here. Village has grown off to the right. And the village of Chitty Chatty on the left. I've heard that the village of Chitty Chatty has one entrance right up here on the left, and it's very difficult to enter and exit during the busier times. I think they're probably going to look into some way to kind of alleviate that. But right now we're still on Morse Boulevard, and we're heading down toward Marsh Bend, Linden, DeLuna, Monarch Grove, so many of the neighborhoods. You can see a lot of wildlife habitat to the left and right. Got a friend down here that sees wild pigs on occasion, wild turkeys, bald eagles. You can see the debris on the road. If we keep going straight, we would go over the turnpike and on out toward Marsh Bend and Fenney. But we're not going to do that. We're going to bear off with Morse Boulevard to the left and go down toward the village of Bradford and St. Catherine. That is not Village's property over on the right. In these villages between here and Fenney, the landscaping is not as mature. The trees aren't as big. You're not going to find as much debris as you would in a neighborhood that had the mature Washingtonias and all the live oaks. So people down here were nervous about shingles and property damage. We got an email earlier. I would show it to you, but it's in the wrong format. It was a video taken in portrait, very low resolution, so it wouldn't show well, of a fence that was put in by the villages that was just destroyed by that wind last night. You'll get a look at this water. Water down here is raised as well. All the water in the villages seems to be at the tip top, but I don't see any standing water in any of the roadways. It's a great thing. We always like to comment about the system that the villages has of using golf courses and retention ponds to alleviate that rainwater. And it obviously did a good job if we had over 9 inches yesterday. So we're still on Morse Boulevard. We're passing the village of Bradford on the left. Aviary Rec Center. That is a fantastic rec center. Have you been there? There is a life-size sculpture of an American bald eagle, and it is just fantastic. If you ever get a chance, go in there and look at it. We've stopped in there on bike rides before. We've taken guests that visit us to come see it. Really, really cool. All right, we're coming up to a roundabout. If we took the road to the right, we would be going back toward Warm Springs Boulevard and the Turnpike. But we're going to go left and go over and check out our buddy's house. Make sure he doesn't have much damage. Sawgrass is just around the bend here. In fact, when we get right here, about here, you can start seeing it up there in the distance. I hope you've liked this ride along. We used a 360 camera, and I think it did a good job. I like it. It helps us show more of the scenery than we'd get with just a handheld camera. And it's pretty darn steady too. So that's our ride, and we're going to wrap it up here, but we hope you've enjoyed it. Well, that completes our ride. We went all the way down to St. Catherine and then to Bradford to check on a couple of friends' homes. What do you think about the damage we encountered on the way?
Very minimal. We just saw a few trees down in the median. I don't even know what kind of trees they were. Jerry said they might have been live.
I think they were live oak trees. They were about 15 feet tall. They were pretty good sized trees.
Yeah.
You saw them in the video there.
And but just a little bit of basically the most we saw was the palm branches from the Washingtonian palm trees. They're a mess.
Thank goodness we got rid of the two we had, those Washingtonians.
Yeah.
They're good looking trees, but they're just too much trouble.
I don't think they're good looking trees.
And we are so thankful that the storm actually wasn't much more significant than the last one.
Yeah.
And our hearts go out to all the people that had severe damage and their displaced families, and it's just terrible. We're going to be doing a fundraiser for hurricane victims, I believe on November 7th. Stay tuned for more details about that. We try to help as many people as we can. And thanks for coming along on the ride today. I hope you enjoyed it. And it looks like this is going to officially, for us, wrap up Hurricane Milton.
Until next time.
See you when you get here.